very abbreviated speech to give you a little background on what this is really all about. So it starts out that I've been a Rotarian for almost 30 years. And for the last 18 years, I've had a house in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And I joined I think this is the right club down there. No, it's not. Puerto Vallarta Sur, which is Puerto Vallarta South Club, which is very, very dynamic. It gets a lot of support from Canadian Rotary clubs and U.S. Rotary clubs. And for quite a few years, I sat next to a guy named Art Fumerton that started a after-school program for disadvantaged youth in a part of Puerto Vallarta. And actually 2 years ago, we did a one-way exchange where a student from that program actually came and went to Mount Everett High School for a year. But that's a pretty broad program, and they also started a sewing school. And the sewing school was really partly for kids going to the after-school program, but also for a way of some of the local women to make money. And over the last couple of years, they contracted with a number of organizations, I don't know the name, and they would make garments for them. Well, when the pandemic hit, and if you remember a couple of months ago, masks were in extremely short supply, the school offered to make masks, and I said, well, if you guys are making masks, and I know we need it up here in the Great Barrington area, how about making them and sending them up to us? And that brings us to today. This was supposed to this is off the record. It was supposed to happen a couple of weeks ago, but blah, blah, blah. And I was still in Mexico. So fortunately, we're able to get all of the pieces of the puzzle together today. And I certainly, Steve, as a few of you know, wears about 14 hats. So today, I guess you have 2 hats on, Steve. Take off your Fairview hat for a few moments and maybe give us a little feedback on the world of Rotary.
So, not to beat Richard, but I've been a member of the Great Barrington Rotary Club since 1983.
Yeah.
Please don't do the math, that'll give my age. So please don't do that at all. I just thought I'd really quickly go over what Rotary is. It's a network of 1.2 million neighbors, friends, leaders, and problem solvers who seek a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change. Rotary's mission is to promote peace, fight disease, provide clean water, sanitation, and hygiene, save mothers and children, support education, and grow local economies. So when you hear all that, you say, what's Great Barrington do? Well, Great Barrington Rotary Club is extremely active. In the last few weeks, we have given out 48 scholarships totaling 52 scholarships totaling $48,000 to both Southern Berkshire and Berkshire Hills seniors. And those are both scholastic scholarships and vocational. We are very active with the Breaking Bread, and we are very active in giving donations to many nonprofits to help our community. We are there to help our community. And this is one example of what we do for our community. When we bring students up here, not only does the student benefit, but it enriches our schools. Because having those students there, we learn about their culture. So we're very, very happy of this donation because it's an exchange that benefits both ways. We're very, very happy. And we want to thank the Puerto Vallarta Sur Club. This means a lot to us. And Richard, I'll turn it back to you.
Okay, well, thank you. And just to reinforce what Steve is talking about this network, very loose network. In a way, Rotary clubs are all in business for themselves, even though one of the key mottos that this is certainly indicative of is service above self. And that's what Rotarians in general think about as they go forth doing what they're doing. And this really just helps cement people relationships and overcomes the whole world of boundaries and, you know, my country, your country, all of that stuff. So on behalf of, by the way, the name of the sewing school is Volcanus, and that's also the name of the after-school program. I do have some other additional information if you need it. I think I sent it to a few guys. So on behalf of the Volcanus School, we'd like to give you 100 of our homemade masks.
Very nice. And I will try to hold a couple of them up so people
Can you turn it around and hold the basket?
Because I'm wearing the face mask, I can't.
Just like that, and you're gonna come in against the other side again, just because we're gonna hold these flags up, guys.
Okay.
All right.
And I think, Richard, we invited Betsy here because when the Rotary offered us these masks, which was general, we were trying to think with the concept of community, how do we leverage these to the best way possible to help our own community reopen on a broader scale. And so Betsy and the Chamber of Commerce and the Rotary and Jane Iredale were putting together packets that we're going to be giving to the local businesses on Main Street to show them the support, to give them the written tools, some signs for the windows, and to help them feel the support that this community has in wanting them to return to business and successfully.
Yeah, there's a lot of unanswered questions, and I think if we put together something that we can bring to the retailers as they open, we can make them feel a little more comfortable and hopefully guide them to reopening safely.
Yeah, so the Rotary will be putting in information, the hospital will be putting in information from the CDC. We'll have these masks.
Right? We have the hand sanitizers and just a lot of little things that go into the
A
packet.
pen, because a pen, then people can have their own pen to
Right.
limit the spread, and just reminding people that
Well,
health is in their hands.
well, I think this is an incredible example of the worst of times can become the best of times,
Yeah.
of people going above and beyond what they normally would do. In fact, I found myself, and particularly actually in Mexico, because there's no welfare system in Mexico. So when people are out of a job, there's no place to go. So the food banks become a big thing, and I found myself just looking for food banks to support, knowing what was happening and not what was potentially coming, because long before the U.S. started shutting down, Puerto Vallarta became a ghost town. If anybody's ever been there, you know it's almost like what you would see in Miami Beach, hotel next to hotel, all shut down. And I don't know what percentage, I'm guessing an easy 70% or higher, are based on tourism.
It's there, yeah.
All right, well, thank you
Thank
all.
you.
Betsy,
Thanks.
don't go away. I want to chat with you
Okay.
for a minute.